everybody, this is Kitsune Haruri and welcome to my channel. What I'm doing today is I'm taking the two paint your own squishy kits and painting my own. One of which I'm actually going to do as the squishy kit showed with the materials that are here. And I'm not sure, I've got a unicorn and an owl. And I think, well, the unicorn has some damage. So this one, I believe, is going to get my materials. And this one's going to be done just with the materials you get from the kit. Now, for the kit, they gave you your squishy, a pack of these little paints, and a brush. So that's all I get to work with when I do the little owl. For the unicorn, this little guy here, I might use the paints, depends on how they come out on the others. But I am definitely going to be doing some fabric spray paint, and not sponsored by the way, but I'm using the Tulip Color Shot. I've seen some other people on YouTube use it. I'm going to give this a try. And I also have, they call them dimensional paints, but basically puffy paints, and all of mine are glow. So, I'm going to get down to this and get these started, get this guy spray painted, and begin the painting on the owl. So hang on, see what's coming up next. Okay, so, while the unicorn is drying, which by the way, I did use the fabric spray paint, and found out that this comes out a lot faster and a lot thicker than regular spray paint does. So, I'm going to have to be a little more careful about it next time. I did spray it outside. It is below 30 out there, probably around 25 at this point today. So, it's probably going to take more than 30 minutes to dry, which is okay. I got this guy to work on for now, and I probably won't get to that one tonight. So, this video is going to be split up over a couple days. No big deal. You won't see the difference. So, anyway, here's my little owl. He looks like a sleepy owl. And here are the colors that they have given us. Lucky us, they did give us some black, which is pretty rare. We've got pink, funky color of green, blue, yellow, and red. I'm going to hope that these are all good. I honestly can't tell you what kind of paint they are because they never said on the packages. It could be, I'm assuming it's water-based because it is, you know, intended for kids. But beyond that, I don't know. So let's have a look. And oh, that is completely dried up. And let's check this one. I bet they all are. Yeah, sure are. But all is not lost yet. I do have a second thing of paints from the other figure. Goodness. Ah. Oh, that one looks okay. Maybe. And all dried up. So let's check the other ones real quick. Worst comes to worst, I might be able to reconstitute them with a little bit of water. We'll see. So, here's this one. Ooh, that one's beautifully wet. Okay. Maybe I do have a good bunch of paint to work with. Okay, if the black is good, then I think, yeah, I'm just going to use this set. This set's nice and wet. This is nice and dead. So, these are garbage, which is not a surprise. It was $1. Sometimes that's what you're going to get. I'm going to give them a little bit of a stir. Just to make sure they're nice and incorporated. They are very thick paints. Again, still don't know what kind they are though. All is not lost if there's something wrong with their paints, though I really am testing out their paints. Maybe a loss for the specifics of the video, but I can still paint this thing. I have paint all over the place, as everybody pretty much well knows. First and foremost, since they didn't say anything about instructions anywhere on this packaging, I'm not adding any extra stuff. I'm not doing any extra stuff. I'm just going to go straight in and paint this just like any kid would if they got it. Or any adult for that matter. So I think, do I want him to be green or blue? I think I'm going to make him dark blue with a little green around his eyes. I think that'll be cute. So let's start there. Oh, it goes on rather nicely. Kind of thick. Since this is going on a smooth surface, yeah, it's causing a lot of streaks, but that's to be expected. Let's see how long this takes me. And also, if this paint chips, cracks, or flakes after it's been added on. This really is the first time I have fully painted a squishy. New experience. Feels a little odd. I'm used to having a little bit more resistance from my materials as I'm painting. So it makes me kind of want to grip too hard, so I gotta think, remind myself, don't do it, don't press so hard. I wonder what a little dab of water will do this. Make it go better? A little bit. It helps just a little bit. Makes it smooth on just a little bit better. Because this stuff really does want to dry right up, even as I'm working with it now. Ooh, maybe too much water there. It's okay. It's okay. Happy little accidents. Bob Ross said so. I do like the shade of blue. Nice, rich, basic color. And I'm not planning on doing any mixing in this. I just want to see what he'll come out with just what they gave me. Nothing complicated. Just owls and paint. And of course, paint's going places it ain't supposed to. Because, frankly, this is not a small brush. It's a good average size brush. It wasn't a bad brush. It just doesn't fit in those small spaces. I think I got some on me somewhere. I see it on him. There it is. Yep, right there on my finger. One of the signs of a true artist. You'll wear it all over yourself. Should be wearing my up-close glasses, but I'm not. Because, you know, like everybody else with glasses, sometimes we get lazy. We don't want to change our glasses, or don't want to put them on. Then we complain because we can't see. So far, this paint is actually not bad on the coverage. If anything, it's maybe a mite too thick. And these thin spots that I keep going over are where I just watered it a little too much. Kind of want that to come all the way around here, little bum. So I can't really pick him up right at the moment. After I get this bottom on him, I'm gonna set him aside for a little bit and let him dry. And then I will come back and continue this little project. So I think maybe, hopefully, I'm at a good stopping point. Can't really turn him over to see, so close these up so that they don't get dried out while I am away. I'll regret it later. Guarantee it. They did not give any white paint. So I guess I'm going to be giving him yellow eyes. Jaundiced, poor darling. Alright, does this clean up with once or two? Will I be able to save my brush? Looks like. Okay, so I can clean this up with water. Whatever it is, it's a water-soluble paint, though it does seem to stain the tips of the brush a little bit. They're kind of greenish looking now. That's okay. It's a cheap brush. Set this guy down for a minute, and I will be back. Okay, I am back. It is several hours later, so this has had plenty of time to dry. And it's dried pretty good. A little patchy, but I believe that's because I thinned it out in areas and it's kind of worn through. But overall, a pretty good coverage for that paint that came in this cheap little kit. And it doesn't seem like it's going to have too much problem with squishing and coming back. I don't see any cracks developing. So let's go ahead and get some more painting done on this little guy. Might touch up some of those blue marks later, but I think I think we're going to do his little heart in red. What color do I want that tummy? Because I want to put green around his eyes. There'll be yellow on his beak and feet. Maybe I'll do his tummy in green too. So let's go ahead and do that. Get this re-stirred. It's been a little while. And again, this is a very, very thick paint. It's almost rubbery feeling. I'm thinking it's acrylic, not only because it's water-based it seems, but just the feeling of it. Let's use this lovely teal greenish color. And try to put it around his tummy and around his eyes. I might end up switching paintbrushes just to accomplish this though. Even though I said I was going to try and do this just with what they provided. One thing you gotta remember with a craft kit is folks may not have these supplies. In fact, if you're getting a craft kit, it should be assumed that you don't have the supplies because it's a kit. You're trying the thing out. Not the steadiest hand in the world, but yeah, no. Who is? The green seems a little bit thinner than the blue. Not real opaque. But still not too bad. Paint strokes on this are going to be horrible. However, it's not high art. It's okay. Even if it is high art, it's still okay because then you can go, my artwork, my problem. I do see where I missed a little bit there. You can see I didn't get enough blue in the seam, but like I said before, I'll probably go around and do a little touch up here in a little while. Very, very thick. Wants to go places I don't want it to go. Like right there. Come back off that. Mistakes are not the end of the world. For the most part, they can be corrected. Okay, well, he got a green tummy. I do believe I will be pulling out. I don't know, should I? Yeah, I'm going to pull out one of my finer brushes to do this. Just because I kind of really want to put some details on him that aren't going to happen unless I get a smaller brush. So let's see what's over here. I want something relatively soft. Maybe a somewhat rounded tip. I think that might be good. Let's moisten my tip and dry it off here. I do that because first it aligns all the bristles. And also, because my brushes do sit out here a long time and may collect dust, to get some of the dust off of them. So you get a good clean bristle. Let's start with a little green here. Trying to see what that transition point is. I could see it before. Now that he's blue, it's a little hard to see. It's right there. Just filling in this little space here a little bit more neatly. Looking around that eye. Now how far down your little transition here? I honestly can't see it at all. That's helpful. Now let's try. And just swoop this around through here as I see fit. Because, I don't know, just can't see it. Don't know how well it shows up in the camera, but there is a little transition point here somewhere. I think maybe it comes all the way up to his beak. Because I know his eye does. And after all, just because they make a pattern in something doesn't mean you have to follow it. It's your art. Make it your way. There's some things that when you're first learning, you do it the way you're shown. And then once you learn how to do it your own way. So after all, nobody's buying art to see a copy of someone else's art. They're wanting to see what you come up with. I'm going to do a little more touch-up on that blue. I'll take a moment to do a quick update with you on the last video concerning that make your own squishy sculpting compound. Because yes, even more developments have come. I'm sure you're excited. I wasn't. Alright, some little touch up on his blue. Let's find that spot here. Really didn't have good leverage on this bottom, and I can tell it looking at it. Simply because I couldn't move him at the time. A little more water. A little more paint. Not going to go overboard here. Just a little bit. Now, if you have a hairdryer, which I have, I just hardly let it see the light of day, you can hurry your paint drying along with the hairdryer. Make sure it's on low heat, because this is foam, and often foam is heat reactive of some manner. Do not use a heat gun. Heat guns are very, very hot, and not really knowing much about what types of foam they're using on this, you don't know. You might end up causing yourself some injury. It could melt, it could catch on fire, it can cause fumes. You don't want to do that. But a hairdryer should be fine on low temperature. They're usually not all that hot. Some might be, but not likely. Touch up these little areas here where the green got away. Looks like the green dries a little bit quicker than the blue too, because it's already on its way. So far, I'm not, other than the one batch of paints being completely dried out, which, yeah, I get it. Sometimes it happens. Some of these kits may have been laying around for 50 years. I don't know. But other than that, this has not been such a bad paint. I just wish I knew more about it. They give you no information whatsoever. Got some green there. They don't tell you what kind it is. They don't tell you cleanup methods. They tell you nothing. Because everyone's supposed to be a paint expert, I guess, when you're doing kids' craft kits. Yeah. Because really, what greater expert in art is there but a child? You don't have to tell a child how to do art. They just do. And that's a good trait to have. You don't worry about mistakes. You don't worry about whether you've done it before. Just try it. If something goes wrong, work around it. Like that right there. I got a little green contamination, but that's alright. Makes him interesting. Don't have much of anything to grab. So let's give him a moment to chill and dry some. We'll discuss that little update. So, if you watched my last video, you saw that I had gotten a hold of a product I believe was called Sculpt and Squish. Sculpt and Squish, the whole purpose of it was that you were supposed to be able to take this material, mold it like clay, and create a usable squishy to play with. You only had 10 minutes to work with. So I tried it a few different times. It's scented, very artificial chemically scents. Most of them not bad though. So I made some things, and by the end of it, I tested several, and instead of being squishy, they were a crack and fall apart. Well, one of them is still in one piece, and that would be the snail. He's right up here on my shelf. So the snail is still alive here. And I do believe the snail is going to be alive for a very long time. And here's why. He is hard as a rock. He is not a squishy at all. Basically, their Sculpt and Squish was just air dry clay with scent. And it was fast drying air dry clay at that. Stuff's totally not at all what it was supposed to be. There's a little bit of flexibility in his antennas because they were very thin. I don't want to do it too much because I'm sure he'll break. But no, he's not a squishy at all. He is solid. But anyway, that's what went on with the Sculpt and Squish. You end up with a rock hard whatever. It's okay if you want to sculpt something with it for fun. You're not going to get great results. As you can see, a lot of the details started to meld together as it hardened. But, you know, save your money. Get just regular air dry clay because that's all this was. And it had a price that did not suit what it was. So anyhow, Sculpt and Squish. Continuing on. Let's see. Is he getting a little... Yeah, he's drying quicker than I expect he would. Let's do a little more touch up on his green. I don't want to over rush him, but you know, I want to get him done sometime. Let's go over here. Most of these little touch-ups I'm having to do are just where I had to water it down to spread it well. You can see how it clumps. Otherwise, not too bad. Trying to keep him from clumping too much, though, because I don't like it. May not bother somebody else, but it bothers me. Well, the nice thing about redoing these squishies is you can make them what you want them to be. Find a nice little shape that's at least close to what you want. It might be as simple as a repaint like these guys could be, or you can get a little more ambitious and kind of kit bash them together and make them into something wholly new. A lot of these ideas of how I'm going to be doing the next one came from Nerdy Crafter and Mariah Elizabeth. Please do check out their channels. A couple of really interesting channels there for some fun YouTubers. Yeah, I'm just tackling them in my own way because, well, I'm all about trying the things. As you see, as I'm working on him, I'm starting with the big areas first and working my way down to the little details. If you do your little details first, it's a good chance you're going to paint right over them and lose them. You don't want to do that. Nobody wants to have to do everything twice. Maybe you do. If you're really, really bored, you might. But on average, no, we don't want to do that. I think that's pretty good. Alrighty. Now, I think I want his eyelids to be blue, green, go somewhere else. Because I believe I'm going to make these the whites of his eyes. And you know, in that case I am going to jump ship a little bit. I thought maybe I'd use the yellow, but that's going to put an awful lot of yellow on him. And I really want his eyes to look good. So, let me see what I've got in my paint box. I've got crystal glitter, which I hope is still good. It's pretty old. I've got tulip glow in the dark. And I have a good old basic. Oh no, that's a glitter too. I got a couple of glitters. I also have glow in the dark. And an owl with glow in the dark eyes would be really cool. So I think, oh, let me check something here, because I think I have it in these little guys too. I do. All of these are glow in the dark. An interesting thing. Now I know you can't do neon and blue. If you ever find something that says it's neon blue, it's actually got white or yellow in it. That's what you're actually seeing. But you can do glow in the dark blue. But check this out. I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. Bring my light over here, Sue. You see this color here? Maybe? Trying to get it so you can see. Glow in the dark gray. I have never seen this before. I'm very tempted to use that on the other one. We'll see how that goes. You know, I'm not going to open this just yet, though. Because I do have this one. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And thankfully they gave me a couple of brushes. I'm not going to use one of my good ones on this. Not on your life. I'm going to use one of the crappy brushes. So I don't waste one of my good ones. Here's hoping this stuff is still good. Here's hoping I can open it. A moment, let me get some pliers. Make sure you have a toolkit. You never know when you're going to need it. There we go. And a little bit of overspill there. Quite a bit. And somehow it still has its plastic on there as well. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to need to open this again someday, you know. I need to open it now. Sorry about the vanish. My trash can had walked away. Alright, so let's see if this stuff's a little liquid. Let's hope. Here. It is. So yeah, my paint was okay. It was just my lid was really gross. Looks like it had been squished at some point. Yeah, those nice technical terms. Squish. So let's go ahead and put some of this. Oh, this is way too big. Am I gonna have to ruin one of my other ones? This has a loose hair. Let's fix that. Don't like no loose hair on my brush. Alright, yeah, I guess I am. That's huge. Meditation. Oh, wait. Cheapy brush. Perfect. Sometimes I keep these around for glue. Let's go ahead and use this little guy. Hopefully it'll not get messy. Just gonna put this right on in here. When you're doing glow-in-the-dark paints, an awful lot of time you need to put on a good thick coat. Now this one, I don't know if it's opaque or not. Let's have a look here. Doesn't look like it is. So maybe, before I go too far on this, I don't want to scrape some of those imperfections off around his eye. But let me get this one eye done, because he's not too bad there. Going back to Mariah Elizabeth, she keeps a mixture. I don't remember what it is she puts in her mixture. I don't think she uses just the straight puffy paints. You might want to look at her channel to see what she does if you intend to do plenty of these. But she keeps a nice little palette of paints mixed that she uses specifically for squishies. Okay, so let's have a look here. Got a little contamination there I kind of want to get rid of. I wonder. Don't have a Q-tip laying around anywhere close. What is, oh, there they are. In the drawer behind the sewing machine. Got a little water on this Q-tip. Let's give that a try. Sometimes that's all it takes. Will the water take it off? Doesn't seem so. So, my errors will live on in infamy. Let's continue. There's more of this stuff over here. Now let that dry a little bit. And let's consider the yellow. So the yellow is going to go on his beak and on his feet. So since I know I'm going that direction, let's go ahead and close this up. Green can stay because I'm going to use it for touch-up here in just a bit. Oh, these are so hard to open. Why? Anyway, back over. The yellow. Still seems pretty good. I believe since that's very wet up there, I'm going to start with his little feet. The yellow seems very thick. I may be watering it. There's one little yellow foot. Okay, let's do the other one. Little yellow feet. Little yellow thumb. Alright, we're going to try and get in there without getting into any of that glow-in-the-dark paint, because you maybe should have done that earlier or waited till later. I don't know. I didn't do it. But anyway, being careful to avoid the green this time. red. Okay, you know what? I think I might make his eyelids green. I think that might look good on him. Let's go ahead and do that. He's a little winky at you here. And his little eye bags now. Not too much. Don't want him to get sloppy. Alright, so far so good. I did get a little contamination on my brush a couple of times. All I had to do, because it was already the other paint protecting it some, was just get it wiped off immediately. And it should keep it from damaging the brush. Now if you leave it on there, it's going to adhere along with the paint that was already on it, and it's going to ruin it. Let's put on a little bit more glow in the dark. You know, I've totally forgotten how long this stuff takes to dry. Now this dimensional paint isn't totally self-leveling, but it does a little bit. So some of your brush strokes will lay down. If it's a big thick glob, you're going to have to fiddle with it. It's not going to go on its own. Okay. So let's consider that little heart. I think with the richness of the color that's already on the owl, I'm going to go ahead and use red. I think the pink is a little too pastel and won't look right. Let's close up our green. I don't think I'll need it anymore, except for if I make a boo-boo. Which I might. You never know. We'll see. Let's go to the red. Just to make it match in, I might make some little decorative marks with the red somewhere else on him. Just for prettiness sake. A little red. And let's see how rich this one is. This one's actually a little bit see-through, it seems. Yeah, it looks like my video is still running. Yay! I'll know later if it has cut on me at any time. And then the editing fun will begin. Okay, that went on relatively easy. So there he is with his little heart. So, a little decoration. Maybe I should touch up your yellows first. Let's do that. Let's touch up his yellows. As you can see, there's a couple of spots that we're just doing some show through. I know a lot of other artists on YouTube at this point have dotting tools. I as yet have not gotten one because I just can't see me using it. Here's why. Every brush comes with one. You look right there, the tip of your brush is tapered in, has an almost smooth bottom. Dotting tool. Let's see if it works with this kind of paint. I believe his little eye feather area could use some dots. More pressure, larger dot. See? Just a touch. Just a touch more. Like that. I want those dots to be a little bigger. Little heart there on his forehead. That's it. Drop him. Just drop him and ruin him. Looking cute. Mr. Hoot. I think I'm going to do some yellow dots as well, if that paint is not too far gone. Too bad. We're moving right along here now. A little bit of decoration. I might add this paint, even dry, still feels pretty soft too. Has a nice texture to it. Now that's still wet. I'm going to take a risk and do something here. He needs pupils in those eyes. I'll give it a minute though. Let's put some decorations on the heart first. A little decoration there. Let's check out some black. The coal is still pretty moist. Yeah, it's nice and wet. I'm going to get a good thick amount there, because it is a good thick amount of paint. I believe I want them to go right about here. Okay, so I need to let this fully dry before I go on to any other parts. So I will probably be continuing this. Oh, let's find out how long this takes. Where's my glow in the dark bottle? That's glitter. The glow in the dark bottle. Magic. There it is. How long do you take to dry? I know you're machine washable. Let dry flat for 4 hours. Fabric can wash after 72. Yeah, I'm going to be coming back to this little fellow. Hopefully tomorrow night. Okay, so several days have passed since the last little painting session. I've had a lot going on. But not to worry, we're about to finish this guy up. He has dried the last few bits of paint, and now I'm going to throw a few details on him. I am pleased to report that this paint actually does wash out of the brushes pretty well. So I didn't have any problems there. So I think I'm just going to give this guy a few details and he should be done. What I've found so far is that this paint seems to do okay on him. It stayed soft and it's squishing with him. You do see wrinkles and stuff in it, but that's expected. It is cracking though. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but you press on him and you can see there are cracks. But for a $1 kit, he isn't too bad. So let's give him a little bit of detail. And that will finish this guy up. And I do believe I will be doing a separate video to finish up the unicorn, just because this is taking so long that it's actually gonna need it. So let's give this dude some eyelashes. Oops, got some fuzz in there. By the way, I'm no good at mascara, not even on myself, so pray for the boy. This paint is starting to get dry though, even though I kept it closed up. It's getting thick. So there's one little eye. If you wipe your brush occasionally while you're still painting with the same colors, it keeps it from being too clumpy, or at least helps it. There's the other eye. And it has one clumpy beak, that's all I can say. Trying to find his little toes without totally ruining him. Wish me luck. Decent enough, I think. And since I gave him glow-in-the-dark eyes, I do believe, I think his eye shine should also be glow-in-the-dark. Let's find that bottle. See a dot here. Oh, good. Just a little drop right there. A little drop right there. Not so bad, not so great either. But there we have him. Kind of cute, kind of squishy. Still kind of wet, so I'm not going to squish him too much. But there he is. There's no sealant or anything. I fully expect that this will crack away, but for the most part, not a horrible kit. $1, well worth the money. It keeps you busy for a good long time. If you have time to sit with it for a while, then, you know, it'd be maybe an hour or two. In my case, it was all over the place because I was busy fiddling. So there you go. That's kit number 1. And guys, I will see you next time for kit number 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment if you would like. And let me know what you think of this lovely little dude, or really anything else. And I will see you next time for the continuation. Bye-bye.